Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm joined by two gurus of the letting agency industry, Sally Lawson and Kate Gregory. Thanks for joining me today, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Why are letting agents so poor at marketing their services? Talk to me.
Straight in for the killer headline there, Chris. Absolutely. So why are they so bad at marketing? My perception is, from what I've seen, that most letting agents see the landlord community as one landlord. And so they market to one landlord. They just market to landlords. They want landlords. They need more landlords. It's just landlords. There's no division. There's no specificity, is my favorite word. And there's no real targeted marketing. And we all know in the marketing world, I've been obsessed with marketing for over a decade now. And I
You're very good at it, if you don't mind me saying.
Thank you. I work with a lot of Americans and people from all over the world, really obsessed with marketing. I talk about it all the time. And one of the key trigger words, no matter what industry you're in, wherever you're in marketing, is specificity. And it's about being very specific and targeted with your marketing and making sure it's aiming at that person in that position at that particular time. And landlords, there's numerous different types of landlords, but there's also numerous different stages of landlord as well. And you've got to make sure you're marketing to the right landlord type at the right stage in their landlord lifetime. And if you can get that bit right, you will see the results absolutely explode.
So I'm assuming there's accidental landlords, people, is it a case of working out what the avatars, I hate that word, but that's what it is. Is there a better word than avatar?
No, that's the best word.
Okay. So a profile.
He's desperate to find a different word.
I'm desperate to find it.
Let's go with it, Chris. Works.
Avatar.
Yes.
So I mean, roughly how many different avatars are there of landlords then?
Well, the main three that we like to work on is you've got let-only landlord, which we all know and we talk about a lot. You've got standard managed landlord, and then you've got investor landlord. Those are the main three. Of course, you could bring in HMO landlord, housing benefit landlord, and everything else as well. But those tend to be the main three that most letting agents need to focus on.
And do you need to have almost three different types of marketing? But then hold on a second, you said they're at different stages. Let's just put stages just to a side for a second. If you have three main different avatars of landlord, do you need three different types of marketing?
Yes, you do. Yes.
Let me give you an example of this. So, for example, we run a lot of webinars, and I know we've talked about webinars with you on the sofa today, but we run a legislation webinar, so a very, very heavy legislation webinar driven all about, the fines, prosecutions, banning orders, the 170 pieces of legislation, keeping landlords safe. Imagine then we invited a lot of buy-to-let investor landlords to come along to this webinar, and they sat for 2 hours being educated about all of the nightmares that are out there being a landlord. Do you think they're then going to go on and buy an investment property and become a landlord? Absolutely. So it's very, very important that you keep these avatars on a very separate marketing train. Otherwise, you could actually unsell one from another.
How do you get the marketing to the particular person if you don't know who these people are?
Specificity. I knew we'd get that word in.
Go on then. You've got me now.
All right,
Specificity. I can't even say it.
Try again.
Specificity. Oh, I can't even. It's like I can't even say apocalypse. I can't even say that word.
You basically three tiers of marketing. So you'd have to have very specific targeting marketing, and you basically create a customer journey for the let-only landlord, and you create a customer journey for the standard managed landlord, and you create a customer journey for the investor landlord. And we use webinars for the let-only landlord. That's what we use. We use a whole tier of marketing which starts with blogs, articles, videos, downloads, and then we run something called a buy-to-let advisory service, which is the customer journey for investor landlords. And then you have this more standard, which is online valuations, information, all that sort of stuff, which goes to a scheduled call, which goes to an appointment valuation and to the instructions. So you have different tiers, different layers of marketing for each of them, but completely different languages in every single one.
So do you just put the marketing out there, and then when someone clicks on one type of marketing, that kind of, with a Facebook pixel, will almost flag them up that type of landlord, then you bring them through a journey?
It's not the pixel, it's the marketing. So if you're talking about 10 things you need to know about dealing with a tenant that's in rent arrears, you're going to get a landlord that has a tenant in rent arrears that is a self-managed landlord most of the time. Very rarely will you get something else. If you talk about the amazing returns of property in Wolverhampton and how one landlord got 15% or whatever, you're going to get landlords interested generally in buying a property. So you really specify the marketing to the heading, the topic, what you're talking
The
about.
marketing,
to drive
you
home.
need good marketing, which is specific for that fear or frustration or hope and dream. And then the good marketing that will suck in the right people.
Yeah.
Then you put the Facebook pics on it.
Well, you can use the Facebook pixel, yes, absolutely. You can do that in your marketing, totally, that you can. But what I'm talking about here is about putting them through a different journey. Here's an interesting fact
But
for
when you say journey, you need to get them in there in the first place. What do
isn't
you
it-
call a journey?
Let me explain. So, give you an example. I was doing some training a couple of weeks ago, and I had a fairly new negotiator, but she'd been in the industry before. And I said to her, as a new landlord phones you up, he hasn't bought a property yet, is an investor, is looking to buy a property, what would you offer him? What did he say, Kate?
She said a free valuation.
A free valuation. I said, on what property? They haven't bought it yet. I said, they haven't got the property yet. She goes, okay. And then somebody else who's also on the training said, so yeah, definitely free valuation. I went, what seems to happen is, in letting agency, we understand one thing: valuations, 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 valuations. So what are you going to offer the investors that haven't bought anything yet? What are you going to offer the let-only landlord that already has a tenant in the property that needs help?
Kate, what are you going to offer?
Well, I think you'd wonder about getting people into this funnel, and I think it's simply by calling out that person in your marketing, whether it be through a video or a guide or a download. If it's a buy-to-let, investor, a buy-to-let investor guide for the area that you're working in, 10 mistakes to avoid when buying an investment property. You pretty much know that whoever's clicked on that is going to be in the funnel, is going to be the right avatar for that marketing journey.
So it all starts with great marketing, content marketing. But
Yeah.
why are agents so bad at content marketing? Whatever the content is.
I think they're so fearful about the fact that they don't want to exclude anyone from their message, that they put everything into their message all at once. And if you market to everyone, you don't market to anyone. So because they offer this and they're offering sales and they're doing buy-to-let and they're doing lettings and management, that they want to say all of that in one thing, and it doesn't work. So the origin of the lead is so important because of the journey that they've been on. But as Sally quite rightly says, you can have multiple, but each person's pain, as you say, each person's outcome, each person's service is going to be completely different.
It sounds like we need to be more marketeers who are in lettings as opposed to letting agents who do marketing. That's quite a step away, isn't
I don't
it?
care what business you're in, you've got to be a marketeer. If you have the best business in the world, we know, the Betamax and VHS story, we know that a lot of the better products don't make it through marketing. And we know that a lot of products do make it because of marketing. And in business, whatever business you're in, marketing is either going to be the thing that makes you succeed or the thing that makes you fail. It's so important and so powerful. I would say slightly differently to Kate, as the reason they don't do this is time. And so the reason they're trying to market to everybody and everybody is just because it's easier.
That was so easy. One message.
I'm going to give you a real true example of this, Chris. This is really interesting. It's a little few years ago, but I'm going to give an example of where this became a light bulb moment for me. 10 years ago, we used to send out void letters. So those are letters to people that had properties on the market. You say, oh, so you've got a property available to rent. You put your market on the property for sale now, and you'll get 10, 15 letters from different estate agents. Oh, we're the best in the market, in the town. Here's our market share and all the awards and reviews and all that sort of stuff. That seemed to be the common letter that went out. You would send around 100 to 200 void letters, as we call them, to get one response. We changed that void letter, and I'm going to tell you how we changed that void letter. What we did is, instead of like, you can see you've got a property, we've got loads of tenants, what we did is we said, we can see you've got a property in, let's say, Wensfield, 3-bedroom semi at 850. We've got a lovely tenant, they're doctors at New Cross, they're really desperate to find somebody in Wensfield. We've really been struggling, they're looking to pay about £900 a month. We'd love to put the two of you together. Just quote this reference when you call, if we can help you. That went to 1 in 20 conversion rate.
Because you're being specific.
Specificity. Say it, Chris.
Can't say that word. Specificity.
Specificity.
Yeah, that word. I can't say it.
What did they, and this was a real realisation for me that actually landlords don't want us. They don't care how great we are. They want a great tenant. And what do we have loads of at the moment? We all have literally hundreds, if not thousands, of tenants. So find the great tenants and use those to win the properties. And that's specificity. And if you take that language to online marketing, you use the right hooks, the right angles, the right panes for that individual landlord avatar type at that particular point in their journey, then you can take them through a process. But you see, a lot of letting agents don't have buy-to-let advisory sessions. They don't have landlord let only to fully managed conversion processes. They don't have anything to offer them. So they try and funnel everybody to free valuation. It just doesn't work for half the market.
That all sounds really great, but how do you convert these leads?
So I think, again, using the origin of lead is massively important. For me, I have a real bugbear where people have, leads. We're getting 300 to 400 leads a month coming through each of these specific funnels that we're just talking about. They land on negotiator's desk or whoever it is that's dealing with them in their office, and they sit down and they ring them through. And as Sally quite rightly says, what are they being offered? Are they actually...
Do you want a free val, love?
Exactly. Are they addressing the origin of the lead? Because the conversion conversations for each of these type of landlord is going to be very, very different.
So in English, non-marketing terms, origin of the lead is working out which funnel they came from,
Yes.
working out what the pain was, and then actually saying
Heaven forbid, actually having the conversation with the human at the end of the line and
that sounds like
addressing
training.
training. Well, it is training. I mean, the one thing, the lifeblood of your agency as a business owner is obviously getting that new business within this. So if you're paying X amount of money a month on marketing campaigns and having funnels and Facebook ads and whatever you might do, and these leads are coming in, you've got 300-400 leads a month. Do you not want to make sure that they're nurtured? You don't want to treat them with the respect that they deserve. So training, yes. You've got to have people in your office that understand the different customer journeys, to know that the different conversations they've got to have with someone. So the let-only landlord, fearful of legislation and compliance, is going to be a completely different conversation to the buy-to-let investor looking at becoming a landlord and entering the market.
It's funny that you can bring the leads in, but then you need to actually convert them with the right language, the right people. And do you see letting agents that get all these leads, but then just...
See it a lot, don't we? I mean, there was one lady, she turned her let-only funnel on, which is a funnel driving people to a scheduled call to discuss compliance and all that sort of stuff. She had 50 in the first week from switching on, which is phenomenal, but she didn't do anything with them. She absolutely went into blind panic and just didn't know what to do. It always seems to be the problem that when you turn these funnels on, they don't want to do, which we didn't expect, to be fair, but it seems to be a problem because it is a different language. And as you say, it's down to training.
Could you outsource it?
What, the conversion? You can. But again, you have to guide and train the person you're outsourcing it to because they're not going to understand your market. So one of the things we do here with when we're training people on how to build these funnels, these lead automation systems and conversion systems, is we train them to understand it. Because if you're going to outsource this, you can outsource a lot of this, but you need to understand what you're outsourcing. It's like anything in business. You can't manage it if you don't understand it.
One of the things that frustrates me is that having run branches myself and sit and I sales train a lot of negotiators in these roles, is that they sit there and go, all the leads are crap. All the leads are crap. They're all crap. It's not that they're crap. It is that, unfortunately, that is the way they're being dealt with that's crap. And I passionately believe that. There has never been a longer customer journey in this industry from lead to customer. It's now an average between 13 and 15 touch points before a lead becomes a customer.
And that could be a year. I mean, I had someone who's been tickling a portfolio of landlords since 2014 and got 9 properties,
Absolutely.
But you've got to play the long game.
But what are we doing between here and here? That isn't just a simple phone call and a voice message once a week. There are other things that we can be doing. We can inviting them to things. We can offer them guides. We can offer them portfolio reviews. There's so many different ways of tickling that landlord, as you say.
So it's specificity, can't say that word, marketing, bringing them through the system. When they come out of the exhaust, knowing which funnel they came into, so you change the language and then nurture them through that. You might have to wait months or years to get it, but you will get it.
Yeah, some is faster than others, but absolutely. And it's specific marketing, it's specific journey, so you offer them different things, and specific close.
Thank you for your time today, ladies. Thank you.